Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. I'm your host Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome everybody. Today I'm looking at the Star Wars Armada pelta-class frigate expansion pack released in 2021. This particular variant of the pelta-class was first seen in Star Wars The Clone Wars film. Now the pelta-class is a really interesting story. Design-wise, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite vessels, but I do admire many aspects of this. Now, back to the history. Before the Clone Wars really erupted full scale, these were mainly used as medical frigates and troop carrier. Now, once the Republic kind of figured out that the Separatists didn't really care if it was a medical ship and they were going to blow it up anyway, that's when they started to retrofit them with laser cannons and torpedo launchers and stuff like that, and sometimes even turbo lasers. But for the most part, for the medical frigates, they were unarmed until later on in the Clone Wars. Also, we did have some different variants of this vessel as well. Now, we did look at a pelta-class once before on my channel for Star Wars Armada. That was for the Rebels faction called Phoenix Home. We will look at both of them later on in a size comparison section, but these two ships may look similar, but there are some major design differences between them. So brace yourself, because we're going to take a look at that later on. But all in all, this is a very interesting expansion pack for the Republic faction of Armada. If you're wondering where I got this particular set from, I got it from Red Seal Gaming, located in South Amboy, New Jersey. And if you're interested, I'll put links below to their website and also their YouTube channel. Now real quick, for the size of the vessel, it comes in a little under 3.5 inches long. So, in terms of Armada, it's not the biggest ship they ever made, but it's not the smallest either. It's a nice medium-sized vessel. So I did enough yapping, let's get to the review. If you're new to my channel, what I like to do is go through everything that comes in this expansion. We're going to look at the tokens, the cards, look at the rules pamphlet that comes with it, and then we're going to take a nice look at the ship. See all the fine details, look at the paint, put it on a stand, compare it to some other vessels, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. And now for my favorite part of these videos, the dial token roll call. 1 ship token, which is double-sided. 4 defense tokens. 4 command tokens. And finally, even though it's not listed on the components page, it does come with 1 focus chaff token. So that basically does it for all the dials and tokens that come with this particular set. It's not much. So now let's take a look at the cards. Alright, first up for the cards, we have our ship cards. First one is the pelta-class transport frigate, 5 hull, blue and black anti-squadron die, 2 command, 2 squadron, 4 engineering, and then for our arcs, we have red and black die. Pretty cool. Now looking at the back of the card, we have our title at the top, possible upgrade slots on the left-hand side, and then at the bottom right-hand side, we have our point cost. Moving on, we have the pelta-class medical frigate, 5 hull, blue anti-squadron die, 2 command, 2 squadron, and 4 engineering. For its arcs, we have red and blue die. On the other side, we have the title of our ship at the top, possible upgrades on the left, and point cost on the bottom right-hand corner. All in all, these are some interesting vessels, and I love the artwork on these. Now moving on to the upgrade cards, like always I will read the name of the card. If you would like to pause the video and read all the data below, by all means go right ahead and continue when you're done. First up, Admiral Tarkin, Admiral Yolian, Clone Captain Silver, Adi Gallia, Mercy Mission, FB-88, and finally TB-73. So that does it for all the cards in this set, so now let's take a quick look at the rules. Now looking at the pamphlet that comes with this set, we have our introduction to the pelta-class frigate and a nice components list. And as you can see, there is no shaft tokens listed, so pretty interesting. And on the other page, we have all our copyright crap and credits for all the people that worked on this expansion. So that does it for the cards, tokens, and rules. So now let's take a look at the ship. Alright, finally looking at this mold. Just like in all my videos, I will go over all the major sections of the item. Then we'll get a nice close-up look to see those fine details. So up first, we have our bridge section, which is this component right here. And if you look real close, you can see there's some blue paint there for the window. Very nice. In the aft section, we have our engines, 1 main and 2 inside. We have our wing sections, which This is static, so it doesn't open, but there is some negative space. Pretty cool, you can see right in there. On the bottom, we have a peg port for our stand. Beautiful molding, looking good. Now down here, we have our entry ramp, and we have, I think there's about 6 landing gear. So it's all on the sides here going down. So pretty interesting. In the front, we have some docking rings. Any fan of the film or show knows that these used to dock like this, going up and down instead of going like this. So it's pretty interesting. I know they can dock both ways, but I always thought it was pretty weird, but yet cool that they would go up to the space station, go like this, and dock. So, I don't know, pretty cool. Moving on the side here, we have escape pods, our main docking ring, which is the same for this side as well. Looking very cool. And then when these were modified, in this section coming down here would be our point defense lasers, laser cannons, or missile launchers. So pretty sick. And then coming up to the top, we have our dorsal section with some nice paint applications and just some armor plating. Nothing really to write home about. As you can tell, there's no turbo lasers or anything like that. So all in all, that's all the major parts of this vessel. So now let's have a closer look. Now getting as close as I can, let's take a look at the mold here. Now in the front, we can see some beautiful line work and molding, which looks great. You can see some recessing as well. Some docking rings, looking good. Now, one thing you're going to notice is the paint on mine is a little iffy. But I'm going to be honest, once you stand away and look at it, you're not even going to notice. It just looks like a wear and tear on the ship from war. And I dig it. So coming down, in Rebels, this section right here that goes all the way down to the bottom was converted into a hangar bay. This one, of course, is all armored up, but really cool. And on the side of that, we do have some raised sections. Very nice. And that's the same for this side. Nice. And then we have some recesses and line work. Recess right here, peg port for the stand. I love the gray section as well. Very nicely done. And then coming to our aft. Beautiful. I love the little molded sections here and there. Great stuff. And then coming to our engine section, you can see some great designs here. Beautifully done. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. I love the line work on here. And here's some negative space you can see inside of there, which is good. And just look at that work. Beautiful stuff. And then we have our engine, which is molded very well. I like it quite a bit. So looking at the top here, again, that engine is just amazing. And if you look in the crevice here, on this side and the other, there's actually 2 more engines in there, which is very nice. And they are painted, so right on. And you can see the interior of the engine is recessed and painted as well. Excellent. Looking at the top, exquisite line work here, nice paneling. I love these sides here. Excellent stuff. And back here, we do have a nice antenna section. Looking good. And you know what? This right here might be a laser cannon. Not too certain though. But the molding on the Armada ships, that could be a laser cannon or a turbo laser. So pretty cool. Never noticed that. I thought it was just a molding thing, but fantastic. So, looking at the section that connects to the bridge, what I like about this is we have this nice angle. And then, doesn't this look familiar? Looks just like the Counselor class, right? We have the salon pod on the bottom, bridge on the top. Pretty cool, right? I like that. You can see some great designs here. Fantastic stuff. Little molded sections. And then in the front, we have a recess for our bridge, which is painted blue for the window. Then on the top, nicely molded. Now for the rest of the main body or dorsal section going down, you can see an amazing amount of detail here. And it looks exquisite. I love this section. Right on. Then we come to the front again. You can see the nice recess and beautiful. Coming to the side, look at all that. Escape pods all there, looking great. Then we have our docking ring. And right here looks like a giant piston to open up the wing section. So nice touch there. Fantastic. And I love the design here. All the angles. Great stuff. The same could go for this side. Look at that. Really cool. I think this came out great. And that's everything I have to say about the mold. Hopefully I covered everything. This may be small at just under 3.5 inches, but the mold on here is fantastic. All these nooks and crannies, the molding, the paneling, everything looks great. And I love the hidden aspects such as the engines. Great stuff. So now let's take a look at the paint. And now looking at that paint job on the pelta-class frigate, this bad boy features about 8 different colors. Actually 9 if we count the black wash. So first up, we have our nice off-white and maroon for the main color of the ship. Now, as we saw, it's a little messy here and there, but from a distance, it doesn't look bad at all. And if it does look bad, it just looks like battle-worn damage or whatnot. So I'm not going to knock it. I like it. I really don't care if somebody hates it. I think it gives it a little difference between ship to ship, and it makes it unique. So anyway, moving on from there, we do have brown, located right here and down here. We have light gray, located right here in between the brown and coming down. Now, I thought it was the same as the dark gray, but when I zoomed in and really looked at it, it did look a little lighter. Now, that could be due to it being on the white paint, but it's too different for me to just blow it off, so light gray. Then we have dark gray for the front, dorsal section, sides, and engine. And I do think it's a great color. They did a decent job with that, and I'm very happy with it. And it's on this side, right here in the center, and in the front, coming down the sides. Sick. Moving on from there, we do have black for the Republic symbol, yellow for the engine glow for all 3 engines, looking sharp. Then we have blue for the aft section right here on the bridge. The bridge window, a little hard to see, but it's right there. And then we have blue coming around the side. You can make it out here and there, but really cool. And again, on this side, you can see it a little better. Very nice. And then, of course, we have our black wash, which fills in all these nooks and crannies and panel lines and really brings the ship to life. And it's probably one of my favorite aspects of these vessels. The paint doesn't cover up the excellent mold. It works with it to enhance it. And that's what it's all about. So that does it for the mold as well as the paint. So now let's put this baby back on a stand, compare it to some other ships, and then we'll be done. Just like all Armada ships, you get a nice translucent stand that you have to assemble. Now, to put it together with your ship, take your ship token, stick it on like so. You'll see how it locks into place with these little ridges. So that's pretty cool. Take your pylon, put it in, press it up. You'll see a little tab move up. That's locked in. It's not going anywhere. Then take your ship, place it on like so. And just like that, everybody, you are good to go. And now for a quick size comparison with the Star Wars Armada pelta-class frigate seen in the center. I have it next to some other Armada vessels. First, on the left-hand side, we have the Republic Acclimator, which is a very awesome ship, one of my favorites, and so glad to finally have it in the collection. And then on the right-hand side, we have the Rebellion faction Phoenix Home. Now, this is also a modified pelta-class, and you can see they do share, I would say, about 90% of the same components and shape. So real quick, let's take a look at both of them close up, and I'll show you the major differences between the two. So looking at the differences between the two peltas, on the left we have the Phoenix Home, on the right we have the Republic faction version. You can see for the most part, the mold definitely looks similar, I'm not going to lie. But over here we have two laser cannons on the sides. Right here we do have a launch bay for fighters. You can see the designs in the front is a little different. Looking at the bottom, for the most part it is the same, or at least similar. Then down here we have no weapons, and then we have a couple laser cannons mounted down here. So pretty interesting. For the top, coming down the dorsal section, you can see a cannon right here. No weapons on this one. We have our bridge, which looks very similar. Not much difference there. And then this is where the major difference comes into play. The aft. We can see some laser cannons right here on the sides. None over here. Now on the Republic version, the wings are closed. In this, they're open. And you can see right off the bat, the main engine is completely different. Totally different mold. So pretty interesting there. But for the most part, you know, they're pretty cool. I don't know. I like them both. They're different, but they're very similar. Well, they're the same ship, just little different pieces here and there. So in the back, one other difference is the engine configuration. You can see that right here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 of them next to the main engine, and then we have the ones on the sides. But on the Republic version, we can only see the main engine and the two right here. So pretty interesting. All in all, they're both pretty cool ships. And that does it for our comparison section. If you're interested in seeing reviews of any of the ships I showed today, check the links in the description below. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars Armada pelta-class Frigate expansion pack released in 2021. I have to say, I really like this expansion. I know with the new FFG and soon-to-be Atomic Mass Games methodology behind the new releases, is that they're not going to give us a million tokens anymore, or dials. As you can tell with our dial token roll call, there is no command dials, none of that stuff. And I could see why they're doing it. In one way, it makes them more money because now they're selling expansion packs that just come with dials. So that's pretty cool, because for all of the original players, or as I call them, legacy players, you have, like myself, like 58 or 60 command dials. We don't need any more. So I like the idea of these expansions coming out, and they're not full of things I already have. Right on with that. I know some people may not like that tactic, but seeing what FFG is doing and what the new company is about to do, it's leaning towards everything is segregated. If you want this, okay, you buy that expansion. If you want that deck of cards, you buy that expansion. And I think it's going to work well. And it must be working well because Armada is booming. I went to my local GameStop, Red Seal Gaming, and was talking to the owners and stuff. Those guys are over the moon with how Armada is doing. A lot of people are playing it, and so much so that I was invited to the shop to play with my Super Star Destroyer, I believe June 22nd, which is a Tuesday. So I'm very excited. I'm very eager to learn the game more than, you know, just sitting here talking about the models. So I'm hyped. So real quick, getting back to this ship, even though we don't get those dials and everything, we do get the tokens we need to utilize this particular ship, and the ship and upgrade cards to do so. Besides that, looking at the mold of this vessel, it's an FFG ship. It's fantastic. I didn't see any negatives about it whatsoever. If I did have to nitpick anything, actually it wouldn't even be a nitpick, it would just be a cool idea to throw out there. If they remade this ship, and I'm talking to you, Atomic Mass Games, if you remade this ship and you made the back wing sections able to open and shut, my mind would be blown. I would actually rebuy this ship probably multiple times because I love moving parts. FFG did a great job with X-Wing, making it so the wings could move and open on some of those ships, and I dig it. I understand they're not toys and stuff like that, but, you know, work it into the game. Maybe it could go faster or have more maneuvering ability if the wings are open. You know, something like that. So, something to think about for the future, but definitely an awesome design here. Now for the paint, I know I said that the starter set was a little sloppy. It seems like they got back on their game with this expansion pack here. The lines are a little more better. Sure, the maroon could be a little lighter or darker in some areas. But you know what? I love it. We have 8 colors working together. And is it perfect? People could argue no. But the thing is, each one of these is a little bit different when you look at the paint application and the wash effect. I actually went out and bought 2 of these. One from Red Seal Gaming, and then I had one pre-ordered because I found the design to be very intriguing. And I do want to play the Republic when I start playing this game. But, you know, the paint is just different enough that you can tell them apart a little bit, but they look great together. And, you know, every ship isn't going to be 100% identical if you made 1,000,000 battleships. So the fact that maybe the wash is a little different here and there, I like that. And that's everything I have to say about this awesome medical frigate today. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. And if you'd like to see new videos every week, subscribe. Again, from the bottom of my heart, everybody, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my content. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.